Property here at Verified Build 002 was originally heated by inefficient electric storage heaters. So it's out with the old and in with the new. We're replacing all the electric heaters with a brand new central heating system. Today we're joined by Lee from iGas Heating. He's going to be putting in what is called commonly, not sure if it's commonly, Lee calls it a heating carcass. So this is a multi-stage process of the brand new heating system going in. Lee, do you just want to explain a little bit about what's actually happening today?
Yeah, so first thing, obviously just plan my route of where I want my pipes to go. This is like the meat and bones of the job, where everything, the supplies for everything that's be going in later on in the job once certain different stages are finished. But this is like the main flow and return for your heating pipe. First fix, hot and cold. Gas carcass from the meter to where the new combi boiler's going in the kitchen. Mainly just the copper pipes on the floor, but obviously before that I've got to lift the floors up, plan my routes, notch the joists and everything else to make sure I've got a clear route everywhere I want it to go.
So essentially this is all of the pipe work ready for the brand new combi boiler that's going in and all the rads that are going in. So we've got a nice outline of the whole heating system. Just the heating carcass that's going in today. Make sure you hit subscribe so you don't miss the next video when it'll be the boiler that's getting plumbed in. Plumbed in, is that the right term?
Yeah.
Sure, why not? You're a plumber as well, right?
That's call it what you want, mate.
Let's get into it. Lee, can you tell me what's happening right now?
Just trying to work out a location for the new combi boiler that's going in. Obviously he's got plans for the kitchen, so I want to make sure it's in covered, not just on the wall on show with a nice new kitchen. I don't really want to be looking at the boiler every morning when you're having your cornflakes.
Why have you done a pipe route here and not gone anywhere else?
Especially rooms like bedrooms, for example. Most people, aesthetically especially, like to have the radiator underneath the window. It's probably the coldest part of the room as well, where you lose the most heat through the glass.
Have you started here and then you're going to work your way back? Or?
That's it, basically. Because we haven't got a fixed point to work from, I'm just doing sort of each room as I go. This is the furthest point from where the boiler's going. So start here and work my way back, and then it's my clear route then all the way back to the boiler. Yeah, it's feel one of them, you don't want to sort of start running everything there and you get here and realise it can't go this way for some reason, do you know what I mean? So it's work out where I want my rad, get the floor up where the rad's going. If there's nothing there, sometimes you'll have like little sort of dolly walls in the floor, they'll just be bricked out and like for things to sit on. So if I got to here, lifted it up and there was bricks there, my pipe couldn't go there anyway, do you know what I mean? So it's always best to get the floor up where you want the rad to go, make sure there's no reason why it can't go there, and then you can work back from there. Obviously, joists will only run one way, so once I've got these sort of tricky bits where I've got to notch it, the main run will actually run in the space between the two joists, so it's a lot easier, it'll go in a lot quicker. So yeah, as I was saying earlier, the joists in the back part of the house are run in a different direction to the joist in this part of the house, which makes things a little bit more difficult. Because we're using copper for our carcass rather than plastic, I was hoping that if I notched the joist underneath where the rads would go, then my main run would be okay because it would run between the joists. But because in here, the joists actually run in the opposite direction, it means I've got to notch every joist as I go. Just adds a little bit more time on the job. Because I'm working the same direction as the joists are running on this part, I don't need to notch, but what I've got to do is obviously cut and lift a couple of boards just to give myself enough space to fish a full length of copper in. With a bit of luck and a bit of jiggering about, I should be able to just lift, say, 3 boards and be able to fish them right all the way through, and that's a whole length of pipe work without any joints. It makes life a lot easier if I can do it like that. So yeah, if I don't turn it, I'll have to run underneath the tank, hot water tank, run under the bath and all that. It's just not great access, so it's better just to turn it, lift a bit of floor in here and go straight that way, and that'll take me to pretty much exactly where I need to be then.
What's going on, Lee?
Working out my route now. Obviously I don't want to go underneath the toilet, because then when you come to fit the new bathroom, even things like when they come to install the pan, you don't want them screwing through your heating pipes. But obviously I'm governed by the steel this side, so I'm probably going to stop that run there, come this way a little bit, and then just the last 3 joists, I'll just drill them rather than notch them, so I can get like just a short stab of 22mm pipe to take me through them 3 joists, and then that'll pick up my main flow and return from the boiler. Because if I can bring my pipe straight up into this joist rather than behind that one, it will make my life a lot easier.
So it's day 2 of First Fix Plumbing. Can you just explain what you're doing right now? Because it looks like you're just putting patchwork copper pipe in.
Obviously, where I planned my route yesterday, notched all the joists out, made a route for the pipe to go. I'm now running the main flow and return, which is going to be in 22mm from the boiler, and then up until the first tees, it will then step down into 15mm, just to obviously less resistant system in terms of the pump that's inside the combi.
Are you just literally putting it all in place and clipping it in?
Like the main runs are going to be quite simple, just literally lay them and put a bit of lagging around the actual joist so you don't get creaking when the pipe sort of expands and contracts when the heating's on and when it cools down.
Is that what I can hear in my house when the heating comes?
A lot of the time, yeah, whereas they just lay it flat on the joist, obviously the pipe's going to contract and expand every time it heats and cools. So I just put a bit of felt lagging around it just to take away that noise. So yeah, I'm just dropping in sections at the moment, like main runs, and then it's going to be a case of linking in at each section and sort of where it interchanges and changes direction.
When you say linking in, you mean soldering that?
Exactly that.
I can see that you're running a lot of copper pipe through the property. As far as I'm aware, and like in the previous build, there was a lot of, behind any walls, underneath floorboards, usually there's just a lot of plastic pipe.
Yeah.
Why are you doing copper pipe instead of plastic? Seems like you're making life harder for yourself.
It is the proper way of doing things, in my opinion. Plastic has its uses. You know, if there's no other way of doing it, plastic, that's what it's there for, in my opinion. Personally, if I can get copper in, I always will. Far superior product, much more durable, better lifespan. Plastic fittings blow off. They can even, I've seen them unwind in ceilings, and then we go to some that have been chewed by vermin like rats, things like that. They're not going to chew through copper.
What's the life expectancy on copper versus plastic pipe?
Everything can fail, but like especially a copper joint, that you're talking 20 odd years before that'll fail if it's been done properly. I go to more plastic leaks than I ever do copper. It's very rare I'll go to a copper joint that's leaking.
What is the cost difference?
Obviously copper's more expensive, and to be fair, it's probably quicker to use plastic as well. But again, for me, it's about longevity. I'm putting my name to something. I want to try and do it right. With things like this, when you're blessed with an open space, a shell building, like it's not that much more time consuming. I would still have to go and drill every joist.
And there we have it. That is the majority of the heating carcass now installed. I believe there's a few little bits left for next time you come back, is that right?
Basically, a few drops I can't do because walls got to be plastered, so there's no point in me running my pipes and then they got to come and plaster it, so they're just going to be in the way. First floor carcass is done, all the pipework in the floor is done. It's just now a few drops left to do, but obviously I need to come back and do that once the plaster has been plastered.
Will you tie that in with the boiler when?
Hopefully, if I can, depends how far along the build is. Ideally, I would like the building to stay as it is when I return, just so I can get better access in the floors, in the ceilings, things like that. If not, it means obviously cutting holes, which again adds more time on and stuff like that. I'd like to
add
return
another day on that one.
Add another day on, bit more money. You know?
If you want to find out what boiler gets installed, check out part 2 in this series of installing the central heating system. And to keep up to date with all the progress of the build, make sure you hit subscribe.